Airsoft players and enthusiasts, channel host Marshmallow, and in this video I wanted to go over all the upgrades that I did to my Elite Force Glock 17. This is how it sits now after everything that has been done to it, and it's quite personalized. It's personalized for what I like, and without further ado, let's get into everything that I have done to this. So now I focus on the exterior aspects of the Glock. I wanted to put on a red dot sight to the Glock, and this is not only my first time doing it on a pistol in general, but as well as an airsoft pistol. So one thing you would need is in the back you'll see the universal tool that can take off this sight. It works for the Glock, and it works for a couple other pistols as well. This goes for real steel as well as your airsoft. So it's a little bit of a pricey project as far as that. I think this was like $30, but it's something that I needed to be able to do this. So that's just a little bit of a preview of setting it up. There's instructions in many videos on YouTube on how to do this, but this is just kind of the basis of it, and then getting that sight off. Now, one thing to make note with this, at least with the Gen 4s, is that you'll see that it's just a square. It's not this weird kind of dovetail that some of the sights are. So just something to keep in mind. That I didn't know in a way when I was ordering these parts, because one of the original lowers that I was going to use for the mounting wouldn't work because it's not designed for this style. Luckily enough, the red dot that I did buy had some type of mount setup, but ultimately I had to order another one that would go around the upper itself. So this is what it looked like with the red dot. Again, that was a very simple upgrade and whatnot, but it was something that I wanted nonetheless. And this one I got off Amazon. I didn't spend a hefty price tag because, again, I didn't really see the need of putting $150+ red dot on the pistol. So that's the setup there. Next, we focus on the camouflage. And here I chose to use what's called a gun skin. This name of the brand, you can look it up, and it's how it's set up is that it's a almost like a very light tape kind of thing. It's set to where you can put it where you need it and it'll hold in place, but it's not permanent to the point where if you have to peel it off and readjust it that you can. So it's very awesome with that. And once you get to where you need, you can take either a hair dryer or a heat gun like I used, and you apply that heat to it, and it'll start to basically stick on to whatever that surface is. So like in that upper part of the Glock, right in this area here where it's kind of grooved up, you can then take something to push that on further so you can get that profile. And again, just adding heat and pushing it. So this you will want to take your time with. I did this over a couple different day settings where I did a little bit and then walked away. When you buy them though, you will get a piece that will go specifically for your upper and for your lower. And in fact, there's one for your lower, you have one for each side. But that's just a little bit of an overview of the top. And then here's the bottom when I got that set as well. So I like that versus spray painting. One, this is much faster, and two, in time, if I want to change up the pattern, it's as simple as just taking the heat to it again, bringing it up, and then just peeling it right off. They claim it doesn't leave any residue, and from a lot of the videos I've seen, that holds true. I'll find out in time if I end up changing this, what happens. So, and that's just the other side of it. Again, you'll have to cut out some of those parts for like where the mag release and stuff is, but it's simple stuff. Just an X-Acto knife and something like that, and you're good to go. So there's the setup on that, and then we'll move on to the next parts. Next, I focus on the magazine release. Now, the stock one isn't bad. It's just not really to the liking I had. With my gloves, I was having an issue being able to release the magazine to my liking. So I bought this 6mm Pro magazine release, and I did have to do some modification to it. Now, what I mean by that is on the inside of the magazine release, but basically on the inside of it that was sitting inside of the where the magazine sits, I had to sand that down, and I had to do it multiple times until I got to where the magazine would slide out successfully. The only way with this, when it was put in to get the magazine out, is I'd have to physically take it out, which not a big deal, but if there's a spot that I want to just hit the magazine release and let the magazine drop, it wouldn't do that. So I had to kind of sand it down, but that was really about the only thing. And in this picture here, you can see from a down angle point of view to where the stock one is just pretty much flat, and this gold one that I'm putting in it sticks out proud a little bit. You might even be able to see, I don't know, I'll try here, maybe you can kind of see a little bit, but it sits proud to where at least I'll know exactly where it is and be able to hit that with my finger. So again, process of putting it in wasn't too difficult. You'll see actually in this picture here, you can see down at the bottom where there's kind of like a nub hollowed out point. I'll try to point to it. There's a little spring that goes in there, and you kind of got to take a screwdriver or something inside of your lower there and kind of push that spring and pull it out. There's a couple videos, actually the Real Deal I think did this one. You can check it out, and he'll show you a little bit better exactly how to do that. It's not really a difficult process, it just takes a little bit. But that's the setup for that, and I like it. So to each their own, but again, with Gen 4s, you gotta make sure it's a Gen 4 compatible. Next, I moved on to this attempt, which ultimately failed, but I'll at least go through the process of what it is. This is an Angel Custom 150% stronger recoil spring. So it's supposed to make your recoil go back and return faster, which, to its credit, it did. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. And here you can see at the bottom with that yellow thing around it, that is the stock one. And on the top with the slide is actually the reinforced spring. And the fit did all that great, but what I found was actually that when it was recoiling, even when I ran out of BBs, it would still continue to recoil. It couldn't lock back because it was just that strong. So again, if that's something you're interested in, where you don't want it to lock back and you can physically see when you're out of BBs and you would want to reload, I guess that's not really a problem. For me, it was, because sometimes in the heat of the moment, I won't know that I'm out of BBs like that. It sounds crazy to say, but I mean, especially in something like nighttime, for one. And two, I really like that realism of it locking back like a real steel Glock would when it's empty. So ultimately, I took that spring out, put the stock one back in, and went with that. Next, I focused on the outer barrel. Now, what I had found when I did the initial unboxing and I tried to remove the orange tip, the stock barrel was kind of like the reverse thread, like it was on the inside. And again, wasn't a big deal at the time, and I was able to get all that orange tip out. But I wanted to be able to, in time, add other things, for one. And two, the stabilization of that barrel, just I didn't really like it. So I came across this Pro Arms barrel for the Gen 4. Again, the Real Deal had given me that idea when I had thrown it out to Instagram looking for barrels. And as you can see with that exterior here, it sits out a little bit like most of them do. And then here I would be able to put a mock silencer. I could put a tracer unit, any of those sort of things I would like to do in time. So again, this is just a drop-in process. It's just taking your barrel apart, putting it in. This is how the hop-up looked and everything. Just pictures, nothing really too crazy. And then this is, of course, the upper with it. So again, it was just a minor project on that. But this is how that, of course, looks sitting as is, fully done, and in the hands as well. So again, unfortunately, I don't have any in-field experience yet on pro versus con as far as these upgrades. In time, I hope to do that. We're starting to get finally into the spring months up in upstate New York, so hopefully I can do that soon. And with that, be able to do a side-by-side comparison video of stock versus the upgrades to see if they're even worth it. You know, is it worth it? Is it a hype? That I don't know yet. I'm just reviewing on the setup and where it sits for now. So at that, I hope you found this video interesting and at least informative. As always, drop your comments in the comment section hit the subscribe button, hit the like, and I'll get back to all of you when you do leave those comments. And naturally, I'll have the links to these different products listed below, assuming they're still available. So take care. Thank you for stopping through, and we'll catch you all on the next time.